Good evening, I'm Sal Pierre, and this is Sal's US and World News. Our top story tonight: President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on US trading partners Canada and Mexico, which could severely disrupt economies across North America. President Trump has indicated that tariffs of up to 25% on Canadian and Mexican goods could be imposed as early as Saturday, February 1st. While details remain unclear, experts predict the move would negatively affect all three nations involved, most notably Canada and Mexico, which are highly dependent on trade with the United States. In an address on Monday evening, Trump mentioned tariffs as a critical next step in his administration's trade agenda, saying, "We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada." This followed initial fears that these tariffs would be part of a flurry of executive orders issued earlier in the day, though a brief sense of relief swept through both Canada and Mexico when the tariffs weren't immediately enacted. Later that evening, Trump reaffirmed his commitment to the trade restrictions. The move follows Trump's demand that both countries act to curb the flow of undocumented migrants and fentanyl exports into the United States. Mexico has already responded by repatriating thousands of migrants, while Canada has increased surveillance along its border. However, the potential impact of the tariffs remains substantial. Economists warn that these tariffs would harm the economies of all three countries, particularly those of Mexico and Canada, which would face massive disruption in key industries. U.S. consumers are likely to feel the impact with higher prices on products ranging from avocados and steel to cars and petroleum. Canada, whose trade relationship with the U.S. reaches a value of $800 billion annually, would be particularly hard hit. Should the tariffs extend to critical sectors like energy, all exports could be severely affected, which would reverberate throughout Canada's economy. Analysts predict that up to 1 million Canadian jobs could be at risk, particularly in industries like automobiles and energy. On the other side, Mexico, where 80% of exports head to the United States, would likely see even greater repercussions. Mexico's industrial base, especially the automotive sector, relies heavily on the seamless movement of parts and materials across the US-Mexico border. A 25% tariff could result in widespread factory closures and significant job losses, potentially pushing Mexico toward a process of deindustrialization. Agriculture, a vital sector for Mexico, would also face steep challenges, particularly for products like avocados and tomatoes that are in high demand. In the U.S., while some experts suggest that Mexico's tourism industry could benefit from a weaker peso, any such boost would not likely offset the damage done to manufacturing and agriculture. In the U.S., the effects would also be felt. While certain industries might see temporary relief, like American farmers competing with their Mexican counterparts, the broader economy would suffer from inflation and job losses as tariffs raise the price of consumer goods. According to the Peterson Institute for International Economics, a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican exports could reduce U.S. GDP by as much as $200 billion. In response to the growing uncertainty, trade experts have warned that retaliatory tariffs from Canada and Mexico could further unravel decades of integrated trade and production systems across North America. This trade disruption is compounded by the ongoing shift in U.S. policy, which aims to address border security concerns while simultaneously reshaping economic relationships. For now, it remains to be seen whether President Trump will move forward with these tariffs or if negotiations can stave off what could be a trade war that impacts millions across the continent. That's the latest on the looming tariffs. Stay with us for more updates as this story develops. I'm Sal Pierre, and you're watching Sal's US and World News.
Hi, I'm Dan Jr. with your World News. In recent global headlines, three major stories are shaking political and humanitarian landscapes around the world: escalating violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC), a deadly Russian missile and drone assault on Ukraine, and a storm of controversy surrounding Germany's failed migration bill. Escalating violence in eastern DR Congo. Rebels affiliated with Rwanda's M23 group have seized major areas in the Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern region, including the city of Goma. The United Nations reported that at least 700 people have been killed and more than 2,800 injured since the recent surge in violence. The M23 rebels, backed by Rwanda, are advancing rapidly, posing a significant threat to the South Kivu capital of Bukavu. This escalation has cut off vital humanitarian aid and displaced millions in the mineral-rich region. The UN has condemned the human rights violations, including executions and forced labor, carried out by the rebels, while Congolese forces are also accused of sexual violence. The situation remains tense, with international peacekeeping forces working to restore order. Russia launches deadly barrage on Ukraine. Russia unleashed a massive missile and drone assault on February 1st, targeting cities across the country, including Poltava, Kharkiv, and Zaporizhia. The attack killed at least 7 people in Poltava, where a missile struck a residential building, leaving a path of destruction. Ukrainian officials reported additional casualties in Sumy and Kharkiv and widespread damage to infrastructure, including energy grids and historical sites. President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attacks as acts of terror, urging more support from international allies to bolster Ukraine's air defenses. This assault is part of a larger campaign by Russian forces as the war in Ukraine enters a critical phase. Germany's migration bill rejected amid political turmoil in Germany. A controversial migration bill designed to tighten asylum policies has been narrowly rejected by the Bundestag, sparking a storm of political debates. The bill, which aimed to introduce harsher border controls and deny asylum seekers at borders, had the support of conservative groups and the far-right Alternative for Germany AfD, leading to outrage. Germany's migration bill rejected amid political turmoil in Germany. A controversial migration bill designed to tighten asylum policies has been narrowly rejected by the Bundestag, sparking a storm of political debates. The bill, which aimed to introduce harsher border controls and deny asylum seekers at borders, had the support of conservative groups and the far-right Alternative for Germany AfD, leading to outrage. Chancellor Olaf Scholz warned that Germany might follow Austria's path, where far-right influence has been on the rise. Former Chancellor Angela Merkel criticized the CDU's reliance on AfD support, highlighting the deepening divisions within Germany's political landscape. The rejection of the bill comes as Germany faces a snap federal election on February 23, where immigration policy will likely be a key issue. These 3 stories reflect the deepening global conflicts and political tensions that are dominating headlines this week. From the war-torn regions of Africa and Eastern Europe to Germany's internal struggles, the world faces a turbulent period that will shape international relations and humanitarian efforts in the years to come. Stay tuned for more updates on Sal's US and World News.
This is Sal. Thank you for watching. We promise to bring headlines and detailed reports mostly as the events are happening. Please subscribe to the channel, like and share our videos. We appreciate your support so much. See you at the next video.